You ever casually mention liking a group, and someone immediately groans like you just said you enjoy burning down orphanages? Yeah, that's when you know your fandom's reputation is in the trash. Some fandoms have built such a bad rep that people assume you're toxic just for existing. You could be the most peaceful, chill stan in the world, but the second you say, I like this group, someone is already rolling their eyes. And let's be real. This happens because some fans don't know how to behave. If your fandom is constantly starting fights, harassing other stans, and spamming every social media platform with nonsense, don't be shocked when people start treating you all like a public nuisance. Good fans don't deserve the reputation, but guess what? Once a fandom is labeled as the worst, that stain doesn't wash off easily. You ever see an idol get side-eyed not because of something they did, but because their fandom is insufferable? That's what happens when toxic fans overshadow the good ones. Some fandoms are so reckless that they make people dislike the group out of pure exhaustion. It doesn't even matter if the idols are talented, humble, or hardworking. People will refuse to give them a chance because they don't want to deal with their loud, messy fanbase. Imagine losing potential fans because some overgrown teenagers can't behave online. Meanwhile, the good fans are left sitting there, watching their faves get dragged over something they had no control over. There's a fine line between supporting your faves and turning into an online menace. Some fans convince themselves that they're protecting their idols, when in reality, they're just harassing anyone who says something they don't like. Not everyone who criticizes your fave is an anti. Not everyone who prefers another group is jealous, but some fans have such a victim complex that they treat every minor comment like a personal attack. Someone could say, I didn't really like this comeback, and suddenly they're getting death threats, like, be serious. And let's be real, idols don't even want this kind of protection. Half the time, they don't even know these fights are happening. Do y'all really think your fave is sitting in their dorm refreshing Twitter, feeling grateful that you're cyberbullying strangers for them? If you have to harass, dox, and threaten people just to defend an idol, congratulations, the psych ward needs you. There's supporting your faves, and then there's treating them like gods who can do no wrong. Some fandoms cross that line and start acting like their group is the second coming of K-pop Jesus. You know you're into deep when you get personally offended if someone doesn't like your fave's music. You treat every chart loss like a national tragedy. You attack people who say anything remotely critical. At this point, it's not a fandom, it's a cult. And if your group ever does mess up, good luck getting anyone to admit it. Some fans will twist reality before they acknowledge that their faves are human beings who can make mistakes. Meanwhile, the normal fans are us trying to vibe, but now they're associated with a fandom that refuses to touch grass. You'd think the solution to a toxic fandom is for the good fans to speak up, right? Wrong, because the second they try, they get drowned out, attacked, or ignored. Good fans will call out the mess, but toxic fans don't want to hear it. They'll say things like, you're not a real fan, stop being negative, etc. And after a while, the good fans get tired. They don't want to be associated with a fandom that's constantly in drama, fighting over nonsense, or making their idols look bad. So, they quietly leave or stop engaging. And what happens next? The toxic fans become the majority, and the cycle continues. Eventually, the fandom reaches a point where even mentioning the group's name makes people roll their eyes. And the worst part, the idols have no control over it. At the end of the day, a fandom's reputation isn't built by its silent majority, it's built by the loudest voices. And when those voices are messy, aggressive, and toxic, the good fans suffer just as much as the idols do. Toxic fandom culture isn't new, and it isn't going away anytime soon. As long as some fans keep treating K-pop like a war instead of an entertainment industry, the cycle will continue. But here's the truth, if you can't enjoy your faves without harassing others, picking fights, or acting like an unpaid PR agent, you're not a passionate fan, you're just a problem. And eventually, even your own fandom will get tired of you. The good fans, they just want to enjoy the music, support their faves, and have fun. But in a fandom dominated by toxicity, even that becomes exhausting. Maybe it's time for people to start looking at the mess inside their own fandoms and start acting right.